Hello everyone. Bonjour. Hi love lovers. So today's research question is, why did Tina Knowles and Richard Lawson got a divorce? We're looking at it from an astrological point of view, synastry point of view. Yes, let's get into the juice. But before I do, I would just like to thank the planets for everything that they've done for me. It's my birthday. Yeah. So I'm making this early and I'm going to put it up so that I can celebrate my birthday with my little family. Happy birthday to me. Now back to Miss Tina Knowles. We know her. Definitely we know her, right? She's a businesswoman. She's a fashion designer, a hairdresser, mogul, and she's the mom to the two most beautiful and successful women in our lifetime, right? She's the mom to Beyonce Knowles and Solange Knowles. Right, so Tina was born on the 4th of January 1954 in Texas, America. Right, and on the other hand, we also know Mr. Richard Lawson, right? He's an actor. He's acted for a long time. We know many of his work, and he's also a dad to a superstar as well, who's also an actress, right? Bianca Lawson. So these are well-known people that we're talking about today. And he was born on the 7th of March 1947, and they started filing for their divorce last year in July, right? And it got finalized, I think, a few days ago or last week. I can't remember when I actually saw the news. So, when I saw the news, I was like, okay, so I need to see their synastry, but from a research point of view, with the research question of why now? Why did they divorce at the time that they did, right? So we're looking at our research from that point of view today, and let's go. First of all, they never really had a good synastry to start with, okay? Just from the get-go, their synastry is a mess, okay? It's a mess. But why did they fall in love then, if it's a mess? When I look at it, I can see that her Rahu is conjunct with his Venus, okay? Again, remember, Rahu is fast moving, want the good life, want the nice life, and it's a what? It's an illusion, meaning that it can also dissipate as quickly as it forms up, right? So when the Rahu and the Venus meet, they feel like, oh, we're going to have a good time. We fall in love so quickly. We fall in love so fast. We want to get married so fast. We want to do things so fast. But as soon as the illusion, gets caught up by maybe a transit, maybe there's a sun transiting over this, or maybe another strong planet transiting over this illusion, then it's a poof, just like that, right? Because when I also look at it, I also see that her Venus is conjunct with his what? With his Lilith. Those suppressed urges that people like, So from the get-go, I see lots of lust. I see lots of, desire. Yeah, more than love. It's is really desire. Their relationship was about desire, desiring of something, desiring to be together, to fulfill something, desiring of each other more than really loving each other, right? Because another thing that I see is that they are Mars. They have their Mars's trine. So her Mars is trying to his Mars, which is also with Sun, right? So a lot of, again, Mars is passion. Mars is now, let's move now, let's do it now. I want you now, let's get married now. Let's do this now, right? So it's really like their relationship was not based on love. It was based on desires, desires of a good time, desires of a good life, desires, to partage just, good times together, right? And there was nothing giving a solid love base, right? However, I see that his love and affection was satisfied by hers. Like he got what he wanted in love, or what he visioned in love from her, because his Venus gets exalted in her own Venus, okay? And due to this aspect, this very important aspect, it also means that she herself, she managed to fulfill her desires of love through his own love. She managed to fulfill her desires of affection through, his affection, right? But because, this is a 12-2 position, right? It also means that as much as his Venus was exalted in hers, it also lost strength, right? As we see now with time, of course, they're getting a divorce because that Venus was in the 12th position from hers, right? So so that is just, a hiccup that, of course, is giving, the love type of a vibe, but at the same time the loss of it, okay? So I also see that they had an obligation to each other, to that they had to fulfill in this lifetime. This is why they had to really get married, and because her Saturn is making that dharmic aspect to his own Saturn, meaning that there was an obligation in their past lives that was not fulfilled, and it had to be fulfilled in this lifetime, right? And that dharmic obligation has now obviously been met, right? Why was there no solid love based? Why am I saying that? It is because her Saturn is making a square to his Venus, right? And anytime when Saturn is making a square to Venus, we know that it's not going to last for a long time. We already know that, because commitment is going against, is not finding it's not going against, but it's not finding a good balance with the love, with the unionship, with the relationship itself, right? It's more like, Saturn here is losing a directional strength, in the Venus. And this is not what you want for a long-term relationship. You don't want this. You don't want to see this, right? And his own Saturn is making like a transformational aspect to her Venus, meaning that, oh my goodness, meaning that his way of committing, of being committed, was finding troubles, adjusting to her love, right? And at the same time, her love had to be transformed in order to fit his own definition of commitment. And this really, it can work because it transforms people, but because her own Saturn is not allowing it because it's finding it's losing a directional strength. I hope you guys like catch it, right? Because now I'm speaking from a Vedic point of view, so I hope I'm not losing my Westerners, my Western love lovers by this description, but that's what happened, right? Because really with this certain Venus aspects that they did have, it just makes me go right? But of course they were excited because of the Rahu and Venus, because remember Rahu and Venus are friends, and when they are together, they do naughty things, the Rahu and Venus. And again, her Venus is with his Lilith. Again, another naughty vibe, just having a nice time, being naughty, feeling so young and fresh, and ooh la la. So there was really a lot of excitement with the Mars and the Mars. There was so much excitement, so much, like maybe they even felt like they were high school lovers. When you were young at school, you feel those butterflies and those vibes. So basically they did have a honeymoon phase. That is a fact, right? But again, what is mostly important, as you guys have now caught up, right, with our discussions, I always repeat this one. Anytime when Ketu is conjunct with Saturn, there will be what? A separation, a break, right? And in this case, her Ketu is conjunct with his Saturn, which is also with Pluto, right? So from the get-go, from the very get-go, from the very, very, very get-go, you could just see where this would go. It's just, there is no solid base. I'm sorry, there was never a solid base. There was excitement and just those vibes, the good vibes without the foundation, right? Why did they get into a relationship then? I do see that her progressing Venus at this time was going over her own natal Venus, of course. But remember, this is also conjunct with his Lilith. So again, desire, lust, suppressed feelings. And it's possible that she maybe made the first move as well, right? Now let's answer the research question. Why did they divorce at the time that they did, right? So I see here that her progressing Venus at this point, it was conjunct with her own Saturn, which is usually nice and good, right? But this was also opposite her own progressing Ketu. Again, remember, Ketu is a separator, and now Ketu was facing her progressing Venus, right? But the progressing Ketu is facing what? Her own Saturn. And this is also conjunct with what? With his Chiron. Chiron, wounded healer. You're going to feel the wound first before you heal. It was all happening at the same time. But I also see that his own progressing Venus was opposite his own Ketu. My goodness. So what she was feeling is what he was feeling. So what was going on with her progressing Venus, with her own progressing Ketu, it was happening on his side too, with his progressing Venus opposite his own natal Ketu. I also see that his progressing Venus at this time got conjunct with her Jupiter, with her natal Jupiter. Again, guys, remember, when Jupiter and Venus are together, we're gonna get a separation because, first of all, Jupiter is not really friendly with Venus, but at the same time, Jupiter likes to be free. Jupiter is freedom, okay? So Jupiter will want to free itself from this, all right, situation. And then, of course, now there are, small reasons, really not big. It's not something they could have broken up over. But then I see that he's progressing. Ketu, was always opposite, her Venus ever since they got into the relationship, right? Because the progression of Ketu takes so many years. So there was also the basis of this when they started the relationship, which is really not good. Yeah, like their relationship started off shaky, or really without a foundation. Without a foundation. Pas du tout. Pas du tout. My gosh, right? But anyway, yeah, guys, it's as simple as that. Like, you just see their chart, you just from the get-go you say, uh-oh, 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 oh, right? Anyway, guys, so I'll chat to you soon. Thank you. I'm Asena. I've been to subscribe, like, and subscribe on my website as well. Yes, I'll chat to you soon. Thanks. I've been to. Ciao, ciao.